Good morning. It is day 27, I believe, and we are doing 10d7 push-ups, 10 rounds, 7 reps on the minute. So let's get down to business. Hand release, nice position, tight core, elbows in, and go. Chest all the way, full extension, protracted shoulder blades. One extra rep for safety since I'm talking. And it's hard to coach and count at the same time. So what I want to talk about today is strength as a skill. The intention behind this program being numerous, but one of the primary ones is qualitative quantity. What I mean by that is that I want the highest quality possible, the highest volume of quality possible. It is meaningless to me to do repetitions that are of low quality at any rate beyond what I could do at high quality, because everything is practice. We got basically a neurological bucket. And of course, every time I use my hands, gimbal goes crazy. Three, 5, 6, 7. This bucket is what my mind and my nervous system perceives as the movement of push-ups. Oh my God. Huh. The gimbal blinked. I was certain that it had shut down. And it's time for another round. All right, so let's say I have a bucket, and everything in this bucket is balls. Now I have a bunch of golf balls and tennis balls and basketballs, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, there are very varying sizes of balls. That becomes quite non-specific, imprecise. Same thing is true for push-ups. If the form and the quality of push-ups vary every time, my body doesn't know. So when I am tired, stressed, fatigued, whatever, there is no clear distinction between a good rep, a decent rep, a bad rep, or a no rep. something that should be definitely just be disqualified. But that's sort of external standards. What's more important is what is mechanically correct, beneficial, and what has the highest potential of growth, of improvement. If I cheat myself out of the foundation, I've said this before, if the foundation is shaky, I will not be able to build anything on top of it. But push-ups, grow into dips, pike push-ups, handstand push-ups, ring handstand push-ups, moves into handstands, air flares, cartwheels, handstand walks, acrobatics. I should probably correct myself. They can, if they are done correctly. So, strength as a skill. This is also moving with intentionality, with presence, mindfulness, awareness, not just of the simplest measurables of a movement. Am I touching the ground? Of my elbow lockout? What is my shoulder rotation, my shoulder blade movement? What is my core engagement? What is my breathing? What is the tempo? So getting some decent pump here. This is basically it. So if I practice poor quality, I will become good at performing poor quality. So there's no difference between doing push-ups and training or practicing for a stage performance of a dance or acrobatics or whatever. I think it's one of the old-timer, I don't know, sort of matinee artist, maybe from the 50s or 60s, talking about how his singing and dancing at the same time looked so effortless. It was because he practiced really, 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 really hard to perfection to make it seem effortless. But something that looks low quality, poor quality, will never be perceived as effortless, right? Because there's always the question of why is the quality so low? if my body line is compromised, if I'm cutting my repetitions short, if I'm bouncing my chest on the ground, whatever it may be. So quality and quantity. That's the name of the game. We want a massive amount of really high quality. So basically, it's quality maxing, and that's all there is to it. That is what high quality training looks like, and that is what builds, exponential return on investment for training. I don't know. I feel like I should make some sort of analogy to explain this even further, but I don't know what context is approachable. I was a soldier. Like, the battlefield doesn't give a fuck about if I've been training for CrossFit rules or for calisthenics or whatever. It's just like, can I move under load, under fatigue, under stress, sleep deprivation, hunger, cold? And if my battle buddy is injured, I have to carry him. Like, it's just, can you do it or can you not? Probably not the most approachable thing, but that's like factually a training that we did where we got ambushed. I had to carry my battle buddy like 400 meters up a steep road, and I couldn't. That's sort of the breaking point for me. That's where I just shifted my entire approach to fitness and searched for guidance and found SEAL Fit, which is just CrossFit adapted for special operations. And that was my introduction, and it shifted everything. I'm a small guy. I was one of the smaller guys. I've always been one of the smaller guys in any military context. And I became just solid, dependable, never the best at anything, but always above average. That's not the training I'm teaching here, but I'm teaching principles. So if I hold the highest bar for myself in training always, well, any other context will always be beneficial for me. So instead of training for easy, training for fair weather, wind in the sails, I'm training for the most challenging. That's why mindfulness, awareness, intention is important for any form of training. I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to simultaneously gauge my own state. What percentage am I performing? How much is left in the gas tank? For how long can I sustain this? And I saw this so many times working as a CrossFit coach. Just be people thinking that if I just redline, go 100%, I'm doing well. No, you're not doing well. You're just crashing out. You'll be running empty like 10, 20% into the workout. And the same is true for, any situation. If you use all of your energy the first few hours during the workday, it's the same. We want to maintain and perform at the highest level that we can for as long as we can. That's quality and quantity. So, yeah. what I'm basically saying is drop the ego, which is easier said than done, but it's really easy if you train with other people and you expose yourself to critique. So maybe I'll just do that. We'll just do weekly form check video uploads to the community where anyone and everyone can simply critique and give feedback. That is what I have experienced. I've heard a lot about basically the idea that feedback should always be consent based. It's like this big transgression to give someone feedback if they haven't asked for it. I think that's bullshit. That's insane privilege. In any real situation where a group is connected to a common higher goal, virtue, ambition, it is everyone's responsibility to receive feedback from anyone within the group for the group's greater good. And I think this is something that is sorely missing in society, our atomization and isolation. But if we were all beholden to a common goal, there would be no issues. We would hold each other accountable, and we wouldn't even have to talk about it or make it out to be this great thing. Oh, accountability. Wow. You're paying me for accountability. Please. It is like breathing. So lots of military stories going on at the moment. And yeah, I believe we need a sort of high tier military operations mindset to personal development, emotional intelligence, spiritual connection. All of these things have just existed in this sort of privilege, fair weather space. And as we see, the world is crumbling before our eyes. And the time is now, and it should have been years and years ago, but the time is now to step up, to take all of these things seriously, to take our attention and the mental diet, what we allow into our minds, to be severely protected, one among many other things. Of course, what we eat, how we live, who we relate to, and how we spend our time and energy, all of these things need to be taken seriously, more seriously than we've probably ever done. I've only had the privilege to put myself in really demanding and challenging situations to draw these lessons and learnings at an early stage. And I know that most people don't. They were shocked about COVID, and yeah, I mean, I was too. But I was more shocked about the ineptitude of our leadership of handling such a situation because, well, I shouldn't say too much. I didn't perceive it to be that dangerous. I'll just say that. And what we're facing right now in the world is probably not that dangerous either. It's just dangerous if you've been living in a bubble inside a bubble inside a bubble your entire lives. So high quality, high quantity training of everything, of your body, your mind, your spirit, your intuition, your heart, your gut. Yeah. Comments, any questions, ideas that you have, thoughts on this topic. I should probably get ready for work if you are inside the school community. which you should be, with like-minded people with a significantly higher bar than the common mediocrity Olympics, you should just join. Link should be somewhere in the bio. And as always, follow my template in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, how your body's doing, any thoughts and reflections on why you're feeling the way you're feeling, limitations in your body, your lifestyle, so we can work it out. Have a nice day. Peace.